Picture two people standing side by side. Same height, same weight, same clothing size. From the outside, completely identical. But if you could see inside their bodies right now, one person's organs are clean, surrounded by normal, healthy tissue. The other person's liver, heart, and intestines are being slowly strangled by a thick layer of yellowish, toxic fat. And here is the terrifying part. The second person has been dieting for months, counting calories, cutting carbs, doing everything they were told. The scale says they're making progress. Their organs tell a completely different story. This hidden fat has a name, visceral fat, and it is not the soft fat you can pinch on your arm. It sits deep inside your abdomen, and unlike regular fat, it is biologically active. It pumps inflammatory chemicals directly into your bloodstream, disrupts your hormones, and programs your body to keep storing more of itself. And here's what nobody is telling you. Standard dieting cannot touch it. Today I'm going to show you exactly why and the 3 precise science-backed methods that actually force your body to destroy this dangerous fat from the inside out. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever done everything right? Eaten less, cut calories, stepped on the scale and seen the number drop, but the belly stayed exactly the same? That is not a willpower failure. That is biology working against you. Here's what actually happens when you aggressively restrict calories. Your body interprets severe hunger as a threat. It triggers a defensive lockdown, preserving your most dangerous internal fat stores, while stripping away muscle and surface fat instead. Think of it this way. Dieting is like sweeping a decade-old grimy driveway with a kitchen broom. The loose surface dirt comes off, the scale moves, you feel productive. But the deeply embedded grime, the visceral fat wrapped around your organs, stays completely untouched. A landmark clinical trial published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise tracked adults over 8 months. The researchers did not put them on starvation diets. They focused on one thing only: aerobic exercise. The results were extraordinary. Consistent, vigorous aerobic exercise caused a massive, significant reduction in visceral fat volume. Meanwhile, the inactive control group, who changed nothing, saw their visceral fat actually increase by over 8% in that same period. But here's the part that should genuinely shock you. Many of the active participants did not lose dramatic total weight. The bathroom scale barely moved. But inside their bodies, the toxic fat was disappearing. They were losing the most dangerous thing they were carrying, and the scale was completely lying to them about it. If you judge your progress only by the number on the scale, you will quit right before the real transformation happens. So, how hard do you actually need to push to activate this biological mechanism? Not as hard as you think, but harder than a casual walk. Visceral fat cells have a specific biological vulnerability. They are extraordinarily sensitive to adrenaline. When you elevate your heart rate into the vigorous zone, your body floods with catecholamines, your fight or flight hormones. This adrenaline surge essentially unlocks the chemical gates of those deep fat cells, forcing them to rapidly dump their stored energy into your bloodstream to be burned as immediate fuel. Here's how you know you've hit the right zone. If you can comfortably hold a full conversation while exercising, you are not there yet. You want to push until you can only get 3 or 4 words out before needing to gasp for air. That breathless zone, that's where visceral fat starts dying. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because exercise alone is only one piece of this. What you eat can either supercharge this process or completely sabotage it at the cellular level. When you carry excess visceral fat, your fat cells become chemically stressed. They start generating unstable molecules called free radicals, which trigger chronic inflammation, which sends a panic signal to your DNA telling your body to store even more visceral fat as protection. It becomes a vicious, self-reinforcing cycle. This is where a specific category of food breaks that cycle completely. Carotenoids. These are the natural pigments that give tomatoes their red, carrots their orange, and spinach its deep green. They're not just colors, they're powerful biological rust inhibitors. A major European cohort study analyzing thousands of individuals found a striking relationship. People with the highest levels of circulating carotenoids in their blood had significantly less visceral fat, regardless of many other lifestyle factors. These pigments enter your bloodstream and neutralize free radicals before they can trigger fat storage signals. They literally communicate with your DNA, quieting the genes that promote fat hoarding and activating the pathways that burn it. You do not need an expensive supplement. You need to look at your dinner plate and count the colors. Deep red bell peppers, bright orange sweet potatoes, dark leafy spinach, rich golden squash. The more vibrant the color, the more powerful the signal you are sending your metabolism. Now combine that with one final tool, and most people are using it completely wrong: green tea. When you eat a meal, your body normally grabs dietary fat and stores it directly in your abdomen. Green tea contains specific compounds that act as a biological roadblock, temporarily blocking your gut from absorbing a significant portion of the fat you just consumed. Instead of parking on your waistline, it passes through. But the real power happens before exercise. Studies show that drinking green tea immediately before a workout boosts your fat burning rate by up to 17% compared to working out without it. The active compounds combine with natural caffeine to signal your brain to increase calorie burn while simultaneously forcing your body to run on stored visceral fat as fuel. 2 critical rules. Never buy sweetened bottled green tea. Commercial processing destroys every active compound that matters. And never use boiling water. Extreme heat eliminates the fat-burning chemicals before you take a single sip. Steep at 160 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature that keeps the fat-burning power intact. Put this together into one simple daily routine. Morning, a perfectly brewed cup of matcha or loose-leaf green tea. Fat-blocking, metabolism activating. Afternoon, 40 to 45 minutes of vigorous cardio. Heart rate in the breathless zone. Adrenaline unlocking those deep fat cells and burning them as fuel. Evening, a deeply colorful dinner. Red, orange, green, yellow on your plate. Carotenoids calming inflammation and reprogramming your DNA to stop storing visceral fat. 3 steps backed by clinical research, working together simultaneously to destroy the fat that dieting could never reach. The scale has been lying to you. Visceral fat does not respond to hunger. It does not respond to willpower. It responds to the right biological signals: vigorous movement, specific pigments, and precise compounds that speak directly to your fat cells at the genetic level. You now have the exact blueprint. If this changed the way you think about belly fat, hit the like button right now. This information needs to reach every person who has been dieting for months and wondering why the belly won't move. Subscribe, because next week we're revealing the specific morning habit that clinical research shows reduces visceral fat by 14% without changing a single thing about your diet or exercise routine. That one will genuinely surprise you.